Okay, let's talk about AI. It's completely changing the way we communicate, right? But as we lean more and more on these incredible tools, we've got to ask a pretty serious question. Is AI actually helping us connect better? Or is it just acting like a giant mirror, reflecting our own hidden flaws right back at us, but on a massive global scale?
And when I say massive scale, I mean it. Get this, 75% of all the content you see online right now is generated or heavily influenced by AI. Yep, 3/4 of our entire digital world. We're talking brand messages, social media, you name it, all being shaped by algorithms. This isn't some sci-fi future. This is happening today.
And this really gets to the heart of the issue. AI isn't just a tool that spits out text, it's a mirror. It learns from us, and so it reflects our communication patterns right back at us, including all the anxious, the avoidant, and kind of unresolved habits we've been using for years, probably without even noticing.
What you end up with is something the source for this explainer calls AI slop, that lazy, generic, soulless content that gets churned out super fast. But here's the thing. People are smart. Audiences can feel when a message is fake. AI just doesn't have that real-time cultural context. It can't feel the vibe of what's happening right now, and that disconnect, it shatters trust almost instantly.
So, what is this big flaw that AI is reflecting? Well, the source calls it the trauma code. And it's a really powerful idea that explains why so much of the AI content out there just feels, well, hollow.
So trauma-coded language is basically the language of playing it safe. Just think about it for a second. AI models were trained on decades of our digital text, all our cautious emails, our little disclaimers, our conflict-avoidant social media posts. The AI learned all our habits of hedging our bets and being emotionally passive. And it actually mistook that for empathy. But it's not. It's really the language of a low-grade stress response, designed to avoid any kind of threat, and it absolutely kills clarity and confidence.
And I bet you've seen this stuff everywhere. Here are some prime examples of this trauma code in action. Phrases like, "You're not alone," or "We hope this helps." They sound supportive, right? But they're actually super weak and overused. They're trying to manage how an audience feels instead of just making a real direct connection. They're just placeholders. Okay, so how do we actually fix this? Well, it all starts with shifting our language. Take this example. Don't miss out. That is classic trauma-coded scarcity. It's designed to trigger anxiety, that fear of being left behind. But look at the alternative. Your opportunity is open. Claim it on your own terms. See how that shifts the power? It replaces fear with agency. It's empowering, not manipulative. The whole energy is just completely different. Here's another one, and this one is huge. The before, we understand if you're feeling overwhelmed. It just kind of circles the problem, right? It leaves the person feeling stuck in it. But the after? You've moved through worse. This moment is yours to shape. Wow. That reflects their own strength back at them. It's a message of trust and power, not pity. So what happens when everybody starts using the same AI tools, all fed with the same weak, trauma-coded language? Well, the result is pretty much inevitable. You get something dangerous, a voice collapse, where pretty soon all brands start to sound exactly the same. And the data doesn't lie. A staggering 85% of Fortune 500 brands are all relying on the same top 5 AI models. And since these models are pulling from similar training data and, using similar safety filters, they all just default to this predictable, emotionally sterile messaging. And the result is a whole industry where originality is replaced by uniformity. But here's the crucial part. You don't have to be an AI expert to feel this. Our brains are literally hardwired to detect authenticity, to know when a message and its source are aligned. We can instantly sense that hollowness of a text that was just assembled instead of being truly authored. And in that split second, all trust is broken.
Okay, but this isn't all doom and gloom. Not at all. This is where we turn the corner. The source gives us a really powerful solution, a framework for leading AI with real intention and taking back our creative power. It's called sovereign prompting.
This changes how we should think about using AI entirely. Prompting isn't some technical chore where you just give instructions. No way. It's a creative leadership skill. It's about being the architect of the message, designing the emotional tone and the story before the AI ever writes a single word. You lead, the model follows. That's the key. And this whole solution is built on 4 really clear principles. First, clarity and directness. Just cut the hesitation and say what you mean. Second, emotional precision.
You have to choose the emotional charge on purpose. Don't just settle for filler words. Third, empathetic framing. Meet your reader where they are, sure, but then actually move them forward. And finally, brand integrity. Protect your unique voice at all costs and stop chasing trends.
So that all sounds great, but how do we actually put this into practice? How do we make this happen? Well, the source lays out a super clear, tangible path forward for any creative team or marketing team out there.
This is basically a direct blueprint for making a change. First, audit all your content with a real human resonance review. Then, shift your metrics to track things like cultural resonance, not just empty numbers. Evolve your team structure. Maybe you need a chief resonance officer to keep a finger on the pulse of culture. And finally, change your daily behavior by making conscious, thoughtful prompting a regular part of your creative process.
You know, when you strip everything else away, it really all comes down to this. In a giant ocean of AI-generated sameness, the only way to stand out is with an unmistakably human frequency. The only real defense against all the mimicry is a voice that is so authentic to you, so full of soul, that a machine simply cannot fake it.
And so that brings us to the final question we all really need to be asking ourselves. When you put a message out there into the world, are you truly the author? Or are you just letting a machine assemble pieces from the past? The answer to that question, well, it's going to define the future of human connection in this new age of AI.